right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Ultra High Net Worth Clients Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Broadhead. Today, we have the pleasure of talking with Diane Pearson. Hi, Diane. Please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Hi, Chris. Thanks for having me today. Diane Pearson. I'm a certified financial planner located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I've been in the industry for over 34 years now.
Oh, wow. Okay. So since the day you were born, then.
I think I was 3, actually.
Okay. All right. We'll give you a little buffer there. That's great. What got you interested in this industry at such a ripe age of 3?
Well, actually, I kind of fell into the situation. It wasn't something that I went to school with or studied. And actually, back in the 1980s, it wasn't a major. It was actually becoming a certified financial planner was just becoming a thing. And I actually had interviewed with a firm and an advisor who was looking for an administrative assistant telemarketer. And I was smiling and dialing every night, Monday through Thursday from 5 to 9.
Oh my
And
gosh. Trial by
yeah,
fire there.
yeah. So I'm glad I don't think that happens anymore. I don't,
Yeah. No, that doesn't seem to work, fortunately.
no, not anymore. But back then it actually did. Got my largest client by doing that, believe it or not. But yeah,
Yeah, largest even to this day, or what?
to this day, yeah, he was the family's the largest. Yeah.
Can you don't have to share any specifics or identifiable details, but would you mind sharing that story, kind of how that went down?
So I don't want to say it wasn't really cold calling. We would go out and find neighborhoods that had high net worth homes in them. And we would send a letter beforehand saying that I was going to be calling. And then I'd place a follow-up phone call and say, hey, I hope you got our letter. I'm researching this. And actually at the time, I don't think they would have classified as our largest client at that point, but this individual continued to grow. He'd actually invented a product. And so and it's been 33 years. So, but yeah, grown his net worth pretty significantly. And we now deal with the whole family.
Well, I mean, with you and your team, managing his finances, perhaps that aided him in creation and growing of his product. No doubt.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let him worry on what he was doing well, and we worried about what we did well. So
Yeah, he could use all his focus for the incredible product that he invented. Um, that's awesome. That actually sounds like a good strategy. Do you still employ that strategy?
as far as letting the clients focus on what they're good at, and
No,
we
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. The sending the high net worth homes a letter that you're gonna call and then calling. No, that doesn't work anymore.
no, um, more unfocused now on social media, talking to the media, being interviewed, doing online stories, blogs, things like that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And are you able to track any of that? Say like, oh, we did X amount of social posts, X amount of public appearances, and we got Y result. Is there any means of tracking, or is it just sort of like we did all of this and then it equaled this, and if the more we do of this, the more we get of this?
Yes. Yeah. So, as far as the social media, I think actually it's a combination of people seeing you in multiple areas. I think if they just, if they read an article in the Wall Street Journal, my name showed up, it wouldn't necessarily be that trigger says, oh, I need to call Diane. But if they read the article and then they went to my website and they saw some of my posts or some of my articles, and then they joined up with the newsletter, I think it actually has to be um, more than one location that they're getting that information. I haven't specifically asked clients about the social media aspect. I do keep track of where they come from the standpoint of Is it from another professional organization that I belong to? Where did they hear my name? Is it a client referral, a professional referral? I do keep track of that, but I think it would be a challenge to try to do it via social media, because I think they probably just see me in many places.
So you kind of just understand that the more marketing you do, the more kind of positive results seem to occur.
Absolutely. You just have to put yourself out there and repeated and consistent. I think that's one of the things, clients and prospects know that they're going to get an article from me every Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. So it's been consistent. I do it on a regular basis. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
That's awesome. Do you have like a specific amount of time that you spend on marketing, prospecting, and then a specific amount of time you spend on current clients, and then a specific amount of time you spend on managing the assets, or does someone, oh, hello, who's that little buddy?
This is Flurry. Say hello.
We always welcome co-guests, especially of the furry variety.
My office mate keeps me in line.
Oh, he's so cute. So for those of us who are not watching the video, um, Diane's adorable little dog just jumped in her lap.
He's a Jack Russell, and they're very active usually.
Yeah, they're like, wait, I have a Jack Russell Beagle sitting on the
They-
bed next to me.
oh. Well, her sister's sitting over there now. She's sleeping. What's good thing?
No, they're way too smart. Like I sometimes she just like lays there and she's like thinking about stuff, and I'm like, I don't. You're not supposed to be thinking this deeply on stuff, dog.
They're smart. Well,
Yeah. Great. So, do you try to do like 50% promotion, 50% kind of internal management, or is it kind of just chips fall where they may, or what's your strategy there?
um, if you were to break out my week, I would say that 20% is allocated to marketing, specifically to marketing. Um, but I've also structured the organization. Now that I'm out on my own, I am outsourcing a good bit of the work that I do. I've got a firm that I work with, CGN advisors out of Kansas, and they handle all my regulatory work. They do my billing, they do my contracting. There's paraplanners on staff there. So I have allowed myself just to focus on prospects, clients, and marketing.
Hmm. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Outsource all the stuff that doesn't require your exact expertise.
right, right. So it has worked out extremely well.
Yeah. That's great. And I know some of the financial advisors we've worked with. Some manage all the assets in house. Some work with a team of experts to do that. Do you have perspective on that?
Yes. So I work with CGN as well. They open up all the accounts, they do the transfers for me. I work with the client in developing the portfolio strategy, but they implement everything for me. So again, it's an outsourcing process that allows me to focus on the client.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Yep.
Awesome. And what have clients been concerned about lately? It seems like the housing market's crazy. Both the bond market and the stock market were both down in 2022, which has never happened before. What strategies are you using or answers are you giving to keep your clients calm and focused on the plan?
So a majority of my career has been money management, active money management. We ran stock portfolios, we ran mutual fund, ETF portfolios. The only thing we didn't run was individual bond portfolios. Um, but since the past 5 years, and I've just been working with CGN, I've been primarily focusing on ETF portfolios, um, trying to outpace the market using managed activity. I just didn't see it happening. Um, and as things have continued to grow, having more of that passive, let's come up with a diversified strategy, stick with it, um, and go. I like the Warren Buffett aspect of you do your research, you come up with quality, and you stick with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very very simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. How often do you try to directly interact with your clients?
So with my money management clients, at least 4 times a year. So at the end of each calendar quarter, we're having meetings talking about what's going on if they feel a need, and if there's something special going on in their life in the interim that we need to address, we address it as is. But a good bit of my work now is focused on financial planning, which I do on a project basis. So it's a flat fee type of an arrangement. So we create the plan together, um, and then it's as needed going forward. As as life throws curveballs at them, we address it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Can you tell me and my audience about your ideal client and why you chose that type of client?
So I'd say my avatar is focused on primarily women who have gone through some type of a transition. They've lost a spouse, they've gone through a divorce, they're changing jobs, changing cities, um, just a major event that's happened in their life. What I found over the years is that there's a lack of education available to most people unless they're going to sit down in front of a computer screen and try to research things on their own. We didn't learn it in high school. We didn't learn it in college. Um, Many people that I talk to don't know the difference between a stock and a bond. And I want to be that resource. I want to be able to provide them with the information that they need to make the best financial decisions to achieve their goals.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's great. That's you're going with your heart and your head there. And what have you found are the best ways to find these types of clients and convince them to work with you?
So I also have another designation called a certified financial transitionist. And um, for those that are listening, the psychology of financial planning has been the buzzword in the industry for, I'm going to say, the last 3 to 5 years. Everybody in the industry is talking about the psychology of it. Becoming a certified financial transitionist, what is dealing with that softer side of financial planning? It is dealing with how is the brain processing certain events that are happening in their life and helping them to, or hurting them in making some financial decisions. So this training has helped me, and it is part of the marketing process that I use as well. So I've got that softer side of um, being able to walk the walk with them, dealing with the loss of a spouse or dealing with a divorce, and um, at the same time educating them to make good decisions.
Hmm. That's great. That's a very delicate time and difficult time, I'm sure. So, just to have someone, as friendly and caring and trustworthy as you to depend on, I'm sure, you become like a sibling or a really close friend to a lot of your clients, I'm sure.
I tell them I want to be their partner as they go through this. I want to help them to make those decisions. And um, I don't make it for them, but I give them the alternatives and let them know what their choices are.
But do you have any specific experiences over the last, couple of years, like notable times when someone came to you and you're able to help them?
I have been dealing with a same sex couple for the past 2 years. And we started the process. They were living separately because one was caring for her mother and the other one was in another city and still working. They were both working at this time. Then they went through a transition where one lost her job and then the other one decided to retire. And there's health issues with the family. So there's a lot of emotion that's going on. and understanding their separate assets and then their assets together and how to make decisions about how to spend money. They had just, I think they were married 2 years before they started speaking with me. So they've always had their own pockets of money. Well, now that they're a couple, how do you make these decisions and how do you move forward? So it has been, actually, it's been a very special relationship, and I've appreciated everything that they've shared with me. And I think that they've made some really good decisions. Um, and now they're both fully retired and um, forging their new lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like you not only saved their financial situation, but potentially even their relationship.
Maybe, maybe. I think that they were just dealing with a lot. And so me being there and being a resource for them just kind of eased some of those decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's great. That's beautiful. So do you have you mentioned some marketing strategies a little earlier. You have your weekly newsletter, you do public appearances. Do you have any kind of specific strategies that you've tried that have worked really well, and specific strategies that everyone said would work and then didn't work? Do you have any insights there?
So one strategy I didn't mention, I did create a private page on Facebook, and it is targeted towards women. And I do a weekly um, vlog, I guess, because it's about 5-10 minutes long on an education topic. So week it might be about auto insurance. The next week it might be the difference between a stock and a bond. The next week it might be making income tax decisions or taking required distributions. But I've tried to take them into bite-sized pieces, and so that I personally, if I can watch one for 5 minutes, I'm much more engaged. Once it goes beyond that, sometimes I'm not as engaged. So I tried to keep those really short. Um, and I was pleased with the attendance that I got. But I think in the past year or two, or as COVID has continued to go on, I'm not sure that the audience is there in Facebook that I originally had or had that opportunity. So
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like Instagram and TikTok have taken a lot of Facebook's audience,
they
or
have.
at least
Yeah.
engagement. We I don't if we get like 3 views on a Facebook post, I'm like, who the heck saw that? But TikTok, sometimes we get hundreds of thousands of views, and it's the exact same content.
You find an audience who will focus on things like finances on TikTok.
So yeah, for one of our clients, they interview other kind of investors, and we had one person on who was like, he worked with a bunch of oil companies in Houston. He managed uh, oil company uh, C-level folks' assets.
Yeah.
He had a very strong perspective on the future of oil and the future of electric cars, and we just made like a short 45-second TikTok of that, and it got, I think, over 1 million views. Yeah. If it turned into clients, that is unclear. But there's no way to be like, oh, you saw it, and then you went to our website, and then you.
That's not part.
um, but it's definitely it's fun to have stuff go viral, and then other stuff we just get base hits. We'll get like a couple thousand views, tens of thousands of views, and then we even just like Facebook, the organic reach is not great, but the paid reach is incredible. So we'll use that content that we pull from podcasts to just make sure it gets in front of the right audience, and then they see it, engage with it, and then we have like a call to action for them to actually talk with us, and that's actually delivered measurable returns.
Did you say miserable returns?
I said measurable, but
Oh, sorry.
I'm
Like, what?
gonna have to go back and loop that line. No, measurable. It is miserable to try and get anything measurable, but once you get it, it feels good.
Yeah. Well, if you have a call to action, then it's clear that you can trace where it came from.
Yeah, yeah. That's the issue that we ran into with Facebook is that it just became a pay to play space. The
Mhm.
the people were still there. You just had to pay to see them. And we're not even paying that much. We're paying like $300 a month in ads.
Yeah. The ads aren't that expensive,
Everyone's like, "What are you spending? Like 10 grand?" I'm like, $300.
but you're right. You don't know what you're hitting or, where it's coming from.
Yeah, yeah. So, awesome. Well, we are coming close to the end of our time together. Again, thank you so much for taking your valuable time to speak to me and my audience. Can you tell us what you're working towards, like in life, in business? Like, this is a very kind of big and subjective question. However you would like to answer it. I like to end the interviews with kind of a head scratcher.
So at most people during most people's career, it's about making the money. Well, I'm past that point. It is now about the education and helping society as a whole or individuals make wise decisions going forward and educating. So, yeah, I've turned that corner. It's not all about the money anymore.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Diane, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. Where can our audience find out more about you?
So, my website is pearsonfinancialplanning.com. And I've got a presence on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn.
Awesome. And we will link to all of those places in the show notes. So you can find all those URLs there. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Diane, I really enjoyed speaking with you. It sounds like you've created a beautiful practice that is, helping folks that you really care about. So that's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Good day.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Okay. Bye bye.